Hey guys, welcome to First Issue Tech. My name is Kyle T, joined by Mr. Courtney. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here. Very first podcast. I think I wet my pants a little bit.
You sure it's wetness or you sure it ain't something else?
No, it's wetness. Pause. It's a little sticky.
Oh, alright. So I'm gonna just throw this around real quick. I did not know you were a Blue Apron dude. Is that for real? How long you been doing that?
Blue Apron, actually, I just started, man. And I'm happy that I did. Because that's the only way that I can go vegetarian. Is if I had a service provide me with all the recipes. So there was zero thought involved. Because I don't want to spend my time trying to figure out what to make. And when I looked at the price comparison, it's literally right around $9 to $12 per person. So for $60, I can feed myself for an entire week. But if I go in a grocery store and spend $60, I might get a day and a half for all the same ingredients.
You're not wrong. Wow. That's pretty dope. I didn't think about the vegetarian thing. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what happens because trying to live a little bit longer, become more of a herbivore, feed my body better foods, less processed things, reduce my chances of any type of cancer, and increase my life.
Excellent. So we'll check back next week and see how that's going if you're sticking to it. So I want to bring it around to what's going on with tech today. Let's just throw out some little quickie things that's been going on. You had some really interesting stuff earlier today. Well, what's going on?
I mean, it's not new now, but for us, I had to talk about the LG G6, that 5.7-inch display, Quad HD. I mean, for me, even for LG, they've come a very long way. Their 3G and 2G phones sold really well. The 3G put them back on the map, and then the 4G kind of just solidified it, and then the 4G had all the problems, which kind of
G4. We're not talking about the LTE
the
spectrum.
G4.
We're talking about the
That's
phone.
Right. The G2, G3, G4. Thanks for the correction. I appreciate that. And with the G5, that whole modular concept didn't really fly off the shelves. But for a long time, it was the best Android phone out that wasn't selling, and it just didn't sell. But the G6, I think LG came full circle. That 13 megapixel camera, it's a dual camera with 71 degrees plus another 125 degrees. That's a really wide angle. You can fit like half the world in your photo if you were taking a group shot. And the front facing camera, it's 5 megapixel, but the way it is, the pixel density and the 2.4 aperture, it's going to be a great front facing camera. People get so caught up in camera specs. Well, this was only 8 megapixel, and this was 13, and this was 20 meg. In most cases for the smartphone, if you're taking photos on your phone and you're not printing them out on a large scale, you're really not going to notice a difference in that photo quality unless you're zoomed in, and then you see the distortion. But up close photos, they all look great. But anyway, that 3300 milliamp non-removable battery, it includes wireless charging, IP68 water resistance. Now this is a first for LG, but it's a first for a lot of companies like that piece of fruit. USB Type C, it's got NFC. It's not new. It's been in phones. It's been in LG. It's been in their mid-range, their low ends.
I think it's
LG's
been with Android since about the Galaxy S3. Really introduced
probably
it?
I want to say before that. It's been in Android for a long time, and it's just amazing how long it took Apple to catch up to that. It's launching with Nougat. It says 7.0, but I want to say that as soon as you open that thing up with the official, it's going to update to 7.1. 7.1 should be out, unless I'm wrong.
I think 7.1 is out, but only on Google devices, the Nexus and everything.
Wait, there's no Google devices. There's only the Pixel.
Pixel and prior Nexus devices, yes.
Yeah, and if you got the colors, you got that Titan color, which is the same metal finish as the LG G5. Then you have black and white. Very curious to see how well this this phone performs. I'm excited about that. What do you think about the G6? Because I don't see it as just another Android phone because it's made by LG. The design is beautiful. Like that phone is really nice to look at, and it feels well balanced in the hand. Just a little curious on what's your take on the G6?
I have a very polarizing thought process towards the G6 because it's going to be a story of there's only one feature that's really going to slightly change things, and I think everything else is too little too late. There's a lot of people between the G4 and the G5 that the issues with those have really put off people, myself included. I'm going to go ahead and throw out there that I did not enjoy my experience at the very end of my G5. I stuck with it through thick and thin, and I eventually had to get rid of it.
Screen ghosting.
Oh my god. And that actually brings me to the second major downfall of this device. You have the screen resolution, and we're going to come back to this a little later too in a little more depth, but it's adopting a new 18:9 screen ratio, which basically means instead of widening the phone to get a larger screen, it's taller, so you have a little wider field of view. However, when you open videos and apps, there's nothing natively shot in 18:9. So you know what you get is you get these little black bars on your left and your right hand side. Now what I'm going to say with this is LG refuses to put AMOLED screens in their phones. Now why is that a problem? Because those black bars are going to be insanely noticeable because they're going to be backlit.
Right, and the black's not going to be rich.
Yeah, you're going to know. It's going to look like my TV is now. It's off, but I can see that the TV is on because the backlight is shining on those black pixels.
But honestly, think the OLED displays. There aren't many phones with OLED displays. So, I mean, how does that even matter?
Because, my good friend, Samsung in 1 month is going to release a phone that's going to have the same gimmick, the same 18:9 screen ratio, but it's going to be AMOLED because Samsung's been AMOLED since I believe the Galaxy S4, which surprised me because I didn't realize they'd gone back and done it that many generations. But yeah, they're going to get the fully rich, even though that you have HDR, which is really nice to have on the G6, you're starting to push more and more into the bleeding edge of stuff that the average person's not going to care or even notice about. And that AMOLED, people are going to notice. They're going to look at the videos on the Galaxy S8 next to it, and the G6 is going to be like, wow, there's no black bars on that Galaxy, even though there are, but they won't be able to tell.
Okay. All right. So you recently you were lucky enough to get your hands on the Nintendo Switch.
Haha.
You know, I want you to tell me about that 720p/1080p. What I like to call the new 3DS double XL on steroids. Share with me your first impressions. I don't want to spend too much time on the Switch because I made my mind up to get one a little too late. So you go ahead and tell me, what are your thoughts on it? The cartridge, the storage, I know the game availability is not there yet, but it's always going to come. You've had it 2 days. Your experience traveling with it, using it mobilely.
Yeah. So essentially, it did really kind of change. My opinion of it changed since I've had it, or at least my expectation, because it is an amazing, and I'll go ahead and say is the best portable / handheld gaming experience out right now, probably obviously ever, because that screen and the way it feels, the screen, just putting it out there, is beautiful. It was incredibly surprising because it's only 720p, but the pixel density is nice enough to not even notice, and 2, it's a plastic screen, but it's crystal clear. So that's
it's plastic, just like the 3DS.
Yeah.
So it's not an actual glass display.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which actually kind of works because it's plastic doesn't shatter. So that was a really great cost-saving method to make it more durable, and it obviously just slap a plastic screen protector and you're good to go. Anyway, back to the point is that it handles as a portable amazingly well. The battery life can differ if you're playing demanding games. I've never really fully tested it and given it a run for its money, but it seemed to do quite well. Obviously, put the tablet mode with kickstand is nice to kick back and relax. However, you're not really going to use that too much unless you're doing 2 players, because honestly, it has to be in your face, because even at 6.2 inches, you go any more than a foot or 2 back, it's hard to see. Now, where it gets really polarizing is when you put it into console mode, because just being straight up as a home console, you're going to be a little disappointed graphically. It does struggle to hit 1080p. Very few games push at 1080p, but it is very convenient. Just the fact that it's tiny. This dock is no more than 6.5 inches long. It's the same width as the console itself. You can hide it anywhere. You don't need an immense amount of airflow, and it's just slide it right in, pop your Joy-Cons off, and play however you want to play.
How do you feel with the Joy-Cons, the controllers? Do you use them individually, one in each hand, or do you use them on the side, or do you use the dock? How do you play?
I haven't really found if I really prefer one over the other. I mostly use, when I'm at home, the Joy-Con comfort grip that comes with it. However, it is really surprisingly nice popping off the Joy-Cons separately and just kicking back and cruising around like that. Obviously, if you're playing a more laid-back adventure game like Zelda, that works a lot better than like my other two games, which are Shovel Knight and Fast RMX, which is almost like Wipeout, or F-Zero. So those a little more tense. You probably won't be as relaxed and probably won't work as well. But for going through Zelda, it's an amazingly comfortable experience. And
all right. Is it really as fast as when you're playing the game in your hand and you just slap it in the dock, it just instantly pops up on the television, or is there a long delay as it switches resolution?
It takes, I want to say, anywhere from 5 to 8 seconds. So
that's a long time.
Not necessarily, because if you
1, 2,
check
3,
it. So you're popping the switch.
4.
I'll let you finish.
5. See how long that was? That's a long time. I could have made a sandwich.
So I'll essentially, you take the switch. It's in my hand right now. You go ahead and you pop it right on your dock. Now what you do next is you pop off your left Joy-Con. All right, you got your left Joy-Con. It's already on. So it's probably less than that. By the time you put the system on the dock, pop your controllers off. The TV's already up and going.
How about trying it with your Joy-Cons already detached and your TV's already on, and then you just plop it in the dock and see if that makes a difference in load time?
All right.
But not now. I just wanted to know if you had tried it and if you noticed any difference, if it was really fast or slow.
3 seconds. I just did it. 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. That was pretty quick.
Instantaneous to pull off, 3 seconds to dock. So
that's all right.
Yeah, it has never been a problem. It's close enough to instant.
Okay. All right, cool. So
the overall experience has been, it's a comfortable system to play. It's a great portable, and if you just treat it like a portable, that at the end of the day you can put it down and send it to your TV and finish playing those games, you're going to have a great time. If you treat it as the opposite, you're not going to like it that much. It's definitely a handheld first. If you don't have a reason to take a handheld system with you, there's really not much reason to invest in the Switch unless you have to have those Nintendo titles.
Oh, thank you for your thoughts on that. I think I'm pretty much sold on it. I'm going to grab one of those. Did you today? I know you were busy, so you didn't get the chance to experience the joy that so many millions of other users had today. Microsoft had a huge service outage that affected Outlook, Skype, Xbox Live. Different things were not working. So the whole social media world was on fire, talking crap. But what people have to understand is Microsoft is actually the leader in this field. So when they have service outages, that's going to happen because servers go bad. They have to be replaced. And yes, they have people working on it, But I just couldn't believe it. I'm glad I wasn't affected because I would have been a little upset too. I probably would have took to social media like everyone else and said, Microsoft, what the hell is going on? But did anyone that you know complain to you about their Xbox Live not working, or they can't use Skype, or their emails down, or anything like that?
I stay relatively kind of isolated, so no, I did not. Surprisingly, I didn't see it on Twitter either. I checked Twitter from time to time throughout the day, and I didn't see too many people. However, I guess most of the people are stuck. If Facebook went down, I would have known about it, but beyond...
Yeah, it's funny. If Facebook went down, they'd have 5 or 6 different news outlets talking about it on television because it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But they can just, blame Obama with some wiretapping, which is what brought Facebook down.
Beautiful, just beautiful. So, like every Microsoft service got this.
It was sporadic between Outlook, Xbox, and Skype. Just random different issues that was keeping teams from working with the Outlook, where you can with the SharePoint and sending and receiving emails and statuses online, not on their physical computers, but if you were using Outlook.com or one of their cloud services, their cloud service was affected.
So the cloud servers were having issues.
Yeah.
I see. So,
But Microsoft got on it and resolved it right away. So I'm guessing maybe they already knew something was going to happen, and they were already about to upgrade or replace some of the cloud servers, and it just happened that a problem happened because they were able to address it almost immediately and got it
and that
fixed.
brings up a really good point: is people have to realize we live in a 24/7 connected world, and technology has to be changed. Stuff has to be updated. Drivers have to drop. There has to be some downtime eventually. There's only so many backups and battery backups and backup servers before something starts to give. So I think this is just a point where, obviously it'd be nice if there's planned outages. When it's not planned, it sucks. But just these things happen over time, even to obviously someone like Microsoft, who has resources and I know has to have several levels of backups and fail-safes. So you're probably right in your assumptions that they were either working on something already and were able to catch this as it was going on, or pretty much that.
Well, sometimes your backup fail, and you have to get a backup for your backup.
Correct. Redundancy, especially in cloud services, is key. I can only imagine just how many, for like every 1 gigabyte of data that is shared in the cloud, I can only imagine how many other gigabytes are like in a RAID array somewhere else, just there for redundancy.
We're way past petabytes. We're what is it, yettabytes or something? We're way up there.
Peta's the only one that I know about, but yeah.
So what else do you have? Because I don't really like rumors, but I noticed something earlier from 9 to 5 Google. They were saying that the Pixel 2 is kind of following the iPhone 7's footsteps, like the original Pixel followed in the 6S's footsteps. So we're looking at possibly losing that 3.5 headphone jack in the Pixel 2, which kind of sucks, in addition to some waterproofing. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the 3.5? Because I find it useful, even though I mostly use Bluetooth headphones when I'm running or something. But sometimes I want to use. I have a whole bunch of different headphones, and I like having a variety of headphones to use because some of them have a different sound, some of them have a different fit, some of them are better for certain things, and sometimes, like I have the B&O headphones from the LG V20 bundle that sound incredible, but they don't really work well with my Rotten Fruit phone.
Well, you brought up something very interesting, and
Without
I
that stupid
know.
dongle adapter. I had to super glue it in a certain spot for it to work.
Oh
And I
my
went through 5
goodness.
of those things and it just didn't work. Apple tried to tell me that it was a headphone. I said, no, the headphones work great and everything else.
Well, that is a good lead in because I know you probably remember how I feel about this, but I have news to everyone, and it's going to happen probably very close to each other, and it's going to happen this year. Go ahead and bury them. Your headphones, the 3.5mm headphone jack, is dead, and I'm about to tell you why. Because one has already happened, is obviously Apple has already ditched it, but Apple is also doing something this year, and they're bringing in USB-C. Now, it's still a rumor, but it's very much a rumor based in truth, because it would only make sense, even though Apple loves a proprietary technology, they need a USB-C so you can connect your phone to your MacBook. Plain and simple as that. There is no native cable, and that's very un-Apple-like. So I'm assuming they've been waiting to do this to push with their new Apple this year, their new iPhone. But essentially, because it's already dead, and because they're adapting USB Type-C, what's going to happen now is you're going to have everyone with USB-C to 3.5 dongles or USB-C headphone amps for these larger ones. Because then Android has already adopted USB Type-C. Every new flagship's going to have it. The Note 7 started it. Well, started with the really big flagships. I mean, LG's adopted it. HTC adopted it. Samsung's going to have it in the S8 this year, I can almost guarantee. So, obviously Android's got with it. And Apple has it already. It's the only port on their MacBooks. So, it would only make sense for them to do that. And since they've already dropped it, everyone's going to have those or start investing in those converters. And pretty much any new headphone sold, it's going to be USB Type-C at the end.
2017, I believe, is going to be the year of USB Type-C. Good. It's a great standard for charging, data transfer. You can't beat it right now. And, wow, my mind just went blank. Oh no, I had an old man moment. I can't believe it.
Well, USB Type-C is great, obviously, for data transfer speeds. It's incredible, and charging. But the fact is you can do all that while sending high-resolution video signal.
Almost instantly.
And, yes, no lag. Because you can plug your MacBook into your monitor, and your monitor will charge your MacBook while sending that 5K signal out. Yes, as high as 5K. So I don't see very long before even monitors might start only doing USB Type-C.
USB Type-C is a great standard. I'm glad that the entire industry adopted it as a standard because it just makes it easier for everything. You have the same charger as your power cable, all your transfer cables. Everything is the same. So, like I was going to say earlier, 2017 is going to be the year of USB Type-C and the retina scanners. Phones, more and more devices are going to have the retina scanners, and they work great. Microsoft pulled it off with the Lumia 950 and the 950 XL. It worked extremely well, and it continued to learn your eyes and your face, and it couldn't be fooled by anyone else. And then Samsung, they came in and they made it even faster. And Samsung's not the only Android phone maker, but a lot of people only think Samsung, Apple. No. Speaking of phone makers, BlackBerry, the key one. Really, BlackBerry? It's not even made by BlackBerry. It's like they just said, here, you want to use my name? Go ahead and make a phone.
Well, yeah, that news dropped last year that the BlackBerry wasn't going to make their own phones anymore. That sucks.
Just get out the game. Just get out the game. You can only be a pimp for so long.
Hey, I mean, try telling that to Nokia. They brought back the 3310.
But Nokia, they have a huge name everywhere else in the world except for here in the U.S. because Americans are whatever we are. The majority of I'm not trying to offend people because people are extra sensitive or oversensitive, and they're gonna be mad if I call them a dumbass. But they love Apple. Oh, iPhone this, iPhone that. iPhone only has about 20% of the market share, and then the majority is Android, because Android is made by so many different manufacturers, and there's so many different flagships, mid-range and low-end phones. So Apple is the most popular device, but it's not the majority. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on this year with our phones and our devices, and see where gaming takes us towards the end with the new Xbox.
That Scorpio
coming out. Yeah. Yep. Already bought one. I already bought it mentally. I already bought it.
I was about to say, like, they're not even up for pre-order. But I got you. I know you're committed.
Yeah. Do you have anything else that you want to mention to everybody? Because I'm stoked. I'm so glad we're out here. We're getting this podcast done. People are listening to us. They're enjoying our show. Woo-hoo. Hopefully.
Shout out to everyone listening, by the way, that's made it this far. It's been a solid 27 minutes, and you're still in here, dude. Just drop a comment or click the like button or anything, man. Just let us know
what you think, because if you made it this far, then that means you might be in for the long haul. And once we get to 100 subscribers, we're going to have a nice little giveaway for you. So that's going to be a milestone for us. So if we can get to 100 subscribers, you might get something nice for your tech. Your what's that? What word am I looking for your
tech life?
Your tech. No, you know, when you're like because you're fiending, because you're a drug addict and you need that fix. Your tech fix. Yeah.
Straight up.
We might be able to get you something for that tech fix of yours. One more time, I just want to give a special thank you to our unofficial sponsors. Call them unofficial because we don't have any deals in the works yet, but we're working on it. Blue Apron. You don't have to think about your recipes. You don't have to think about what you're cooking after a long day of work. You don't have to run to the store and buy different ingredients, or if one store doesn't have it, bounce to another store. It's all shipped to you fresh once a week for the whole entire week. You can do a 2-person plan or a family plan of 4. Me, I do a 2-person plan because it's enough food for me to do for the whole week. And I love it. It's great. Everything is fresh. And then we have Black Tech Holdings. They are a computer learning tutoring service, basically. They take people with fears of computers or who aren't exactly comfortable. They teach them how to do social media, how to send emails. Black Tech Holding computer tutors also teach people how to do basic maintenance on their computers, and they just get them comfortable. So if they have family that wants to Skype or use FaceTime, they teach them how to do all of that. Computers, tablets, phones, they tutor and cater to the masses. So check them out, blacktechholdings.com, the computer tutor. And then we have our partners over on the Xbox side of things. They are a great group of guys and girls. They've been around since 2008, and they are pretty well established at teamxbln.com. Check them out. Deuce Legend, thank you very much for being a great friend over the last 15 years, man. Best to them and his team. Oh, one more thing.
Giggity, what's that?
Did you hear about Blue Origin? Jeff Bezos. They're introduced. No. They just announced the rocket that's going to compete. It has it's called a B4 engine, and it's going to compete with SpaceX's Falcon 9. So, from my understanding, it's named after John Glenn, and it's expected to begin flights in 2020. And it's capable of nearly a mirror image of what SpaceX's Falcon 9 can pull off. So SpaceX and Blue Origin, they're on very similar plans for rocket reusability. And they want to put people up in space, tourism, fly to different planets, fly to the space station. So the private space industry is going to get really interesting. And I want to see how NASA reacts to it, how the government reacts to it. Because when private people start getting in outer space and seeing what's really going on, what happens?
Ooh, that's a very good point. I mean, I know SpaceX has been a thing for quite a while. So I don't really think anything is too crazy on like the conspiracy side of it, but I mean, you do have a good point that something you'll have a little third major player in the park there. So
yeah, I can't wait for my first flight.
Well,
I'll
hey,
be up there.
Space race is back, man. Space race again, 2020.
Nanu.
Gady. So I guess since we reached the end here, let's go ahead and throw out a little teaser for the next show. Now, since we didn't really cover it too much today, I want to stay tuned next time. We're going to go over the latest rumors for the Apple iPhone 8, or as I like to call it, the iPhone X, because I hope it will be Extreme. It'll be the iPhone everyone's looking for. It's also the 10th iPhone. I think iPhone X will be I'll just stop right there, but
maybe
next
a
time,
solid name for it.
Hashtag
so
iPhone X if you think it's going to be called that.
Yeah, we'll discuss the rumor reports. So this was episode 1, mission 1. We want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys for coming out. Shout out. Leave a comment if you made it this far. Hats off to you. Hashtag we made it. Do your little millennial thing. If you're not a millennial, it's okay. I don't like the term.
Gen X, baby.
There you go. I'm showing my age, so I'm going to just go ahead and leave right now. Thank you guys for coming out. Courtney, you're the man. Thanks for chilling with me as always.
Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Gady, good night, folks.
Big shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Blue Apron, because if it wasn't for Blue Apron and their healthy meals, their great recipes, I wouldn't be here today to co-host this podcast for you. I'm a huge fan of Blue Apron, and I hope you guys subscribe to their service. You can't beat the prices. Much cheaper than going to the grocery store, and you don't have to try to figure out what to cook. The recipe is there, all the ingredients are there, and the food is fresh and it tastes great. And if you're someone that's trying to stay fit or mix up your meal plan, or just add a little spice in your life, Blue Apron is totally the way to go. Also want to give a big shout out to one of my longtime friends. Deuce Legend on Xbox Live has a team of dedicated gamers that provide information on teamxbln.com. Check them out, subscribe, follow all their channels, and enjoy the show.
All music for this podcast was supplied by First Issue Variant and Kevin MacLeod's royalty-free music. Check out links in the description below and enjoy their music.